Hello, PBE, and welcome to Week 3, Day 4 of S62, the final day of Week 3, ending the third quarter of the season and heading into the final stretch of Week 4. I will be your professional button pusher today, Aria EXE, and tonight we've got a few stream games, 3 majors, couple minors, the final primetime game of the week, and a few quick sim days. It is a pretty late stream, so I'll try not to waffle on too much. But yeah, I think that's all I really have for the intro. Let's hop on into the game. So it is August 2nd in the PBE universe, and for August 2nd, we will be catching a game up in Alaska between the Kingpins and the Wheelers at Baltimore Memorial Field. Starting on the mound for each team, it will be Ali Damra for the home Wheelers, pitching to a 4.63 ERA, I believe rookie year? No, second year. Okay. First year in the rotation, though. Second year in the rotation. Partial rotation year in the rookie year. Yeah, no worries. It was, just, subbing in. I was free tonight, so, why not? Want to make sure, want to make sure everyone sees their player as much as possible. On the Kingpin side, it will be Lord Slickfingers on the mound, having a bit of a rough rookie season. But aren't the Kingpins are doing relatively well, so it's a bit of a rough rookie year for Slickfingers, but I believe stabilizing a little bit as the year goes on. In terms of hitters, the Kingpins' premier hitter is in their 3-hole Sweet Sweet Gandersmoke, currently OPSing at 942, and tied for the team lead in home runs at 18, along with their leadoff hitter, Joe East. Like 14 wins in one-run games. Oh, that's a very good way to make your Pythag look really high. Meanwhile, for the Wheelers, don't have anyone over 800 OPS at the moment. Their top hitter in that 3-hole spot is their catcher, DB Barnum. But they've got some pretty solid home run hitters through the order. Rex Jordan, Misty Morning, Chris Cash Jr. So a lot of pop in the bat, maybe a little streaky. We'll see if they can hit their stride tonight at their home ballpark. I'll let the prediction run for another minute or so, 30 seconds, another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll hop right into it. Another stream with no Cali love. Did they? I assume y'all had a streamed game this week. Let me peek. On Wednesday. Wednesday? Did we get a stream in on Wednesday, or was that a quick sim day? That wound up being a quick sim day. Unfortunate. But the Firehawks should be getting some love next week on Thursday. And I believe this is still true. The offline files have the replays still with them, still packaged in with them. So if you're curious, you can always hop into the offline file and take a look at game replays. One thing I always wanted to try and do more consistently, I did a few times, but I always ended up running short on time to continue doing them, was actually going in and getting screen recordings of different of a few games just to make sure my team's pitchers were getting views. So, just a way to, make it so the pitchers see their players more often. Always good, especially since the stream schedule isn't always the kindest to our pitchers. But that's enough rambling from me. I'm going to go ahead and get things started. Heading to the Igloo, it'll be Ali Damra on the bump with Joe East leading off for the Kingpins. And I've got to change our camera angle. Joe East fanned on the initial plate appearance. All right, now we're good to go. Bobby McDonald, DH, stepping in next. Fly ball into left center field will be handled by Rex Jordan. Ganja Smoke with 2 outs, nobody on, will work a walk on the full count. Obo Femhausen on the ground left side of the infield will keep the line moving. A bit of a 2-out rally going on here. Can Showtime Jones keep it going? Ground ball to third base, not able to beat out the throw. It will be out number 3. The 2-out rally comes short. Rex Jordan faces off against Lord Slickfingers, high and deep to left center field, over the wall and gone! A leadoff home run for the center fielder Rex Jordan, and the Anchorage Wheelers strike first and strike early on the solo shot from Rex Jordan. Be Robin Banks up to face Slickfingers next, taken to the bag unassisted by the first baseman stacking paper. DB Barnum works a walk from the pitcher. Keon Lennedy on the ground, past the glove of the second baseman. Barnum holds up at second. 2 on, 1 out for Misty Morning. Ground ball for 6, not able to turn to on this occasion. Will be runners on the corners, 2 outs for Chris Cash Jr., who swings and misses at the third pitch. Lord Slickfingers collecting his first strikeout. Damage done, though. Chicago down by 1 as we head to the second inning. Pookie Gamble's ground ball short. Stop. Play made. Ben stacking paper the second, the first baseman. Little blooper into left field, and that will be caught. Went golfing for that pitch. Lazarus King on the ground, 5-3. Put out will be 1-2-3 in the top of the second. Bottom of the order up for the Wheelers. Jimmy Sachs swings at a fastball in the zone, but can't find it. Hannibal Kingslayer, 5-3. Put out. And Killian DeBlue, last batter of the Wheelers lineup, will have a 2-out singles. We head to the top of the order. Rex Jordan homered his last time up. We'll watch Killian DeBlue go for second on the ball called in the zone. And on the full count, Rex Jordan walks. It'll be 2 on, 2 outs for Robin Banks, the shortstop. Pulled down the first base line. That's going to be extra bases. That'll score 1. Will it score 2? Rounding third is Jordan, and he will make it. 2 runs for the Anchorage Wheelers on the double from Robin Banks. 3-0 in their favor. DB Barnum will lift it into left field for the third out. But it is a 3-run ball game heading into the third inning. 9-hole hitter up for the Kingpins, Corey Wilson. Fly ball opposite field will land in the glove of Chris Cash Jr. Joe East also gets some opposite field power, and able to make a diving stop is the left fielder DeBlue, but it will be a double for Joe East, keeping that average above 300. Bobby McDonald down on strikes, 2 outs, runner in scoring position for Ganja Smoke. Gets it past the shortstop. Rounding third is Joe East. And getting home is Joe East. Kingpins are on the board, cutting the deficit to just 2, thanks to the Ganja Smoke single. Obo Femhausen ground ball to short. They'll take the out at second. The inning is over. 2-run lead for the Wheelers. They'll get their 4, 5, 6 hitters up. Keon Lennedy lifted into right center field and caught by Lazarus King. Misty Morning, a bloop single to the left side of the outfield. Chris Cash Jr. popped high in the air. Shortstop more or less chasing the pitcher off the mound to make that play. And Jimmy Sachs will have another little infield pop-up to retire the side. Ali Dahmer still on the mound as we enter the fourth inning. Showtime Jones is 6-3 put out to lead us off. Pookie Gamble's ground ball bobbled. It is an off-target throw, so the Lennedy error will allow Gambles on base. Stacking paper the second will swing and miss at the Dahmer sinker. And a ground ball to the shortstop, taken to the bag by Banks himself. Heading to the bottom of the fourth now, a full count for Hannibal Kingslayer will result in a walk, the third of the day for Slick Fingers. DeBlue with the runner on will put it down in left field for a single. 2 on now with nobody out for Rex Jordan. Popped high in the infield. Infield fly rule will be called, and the runners will head back. Robin Banks puts this one into the gap. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Be extra bases. A stand-up double for Robin Banks, as 2 more runs will score. Anchorage answers back 1 with 2. It's a 4-run lead for the Wheelies now. Barnum retired on strikes. 2 outs with the runner in scoring position. Lenedy faces the same fate as Barnum before him. We head into the 5th inning. Chicago trailing by 4 now. Corey Wilson on the ground. Diving play by the shortstop. Wonderful throw by Robin Banks, stealing a hit from the second baseman. Joe East puts it in play on the 2-0 count. It'll fall into the glove of DeBlue. A swinging bunt from the DH will be a third out and a 1-2-3 inning for the Kingpins. Going to need to get something going here soon. Misty Morning will get a walk on 4 pitches. That may be the end of Lord Slickfinger's day. No, they'll let him go at least one more batter and get a first pitch pop out from Chris Cash Jr. Slickfinger's still in the game, allowing a single to Jimmy Sachs. It'll be 2 on with 1 out. 94, make that 97 pitches after that AB. Slickfinger's still in. Will issue a walk. Now over 100 pitches for him with the bases loaded. Will they pull him? Big Yosh will come in to relieve him and will allow a single. Station to station. Wheelers on the board once again, now leading this ball game by 5 runs. Back to the top of their order. Rex Jordan high and deep. Is this gone into center field? 2 home run day for Rex Jordan. This time a grand slam. And a grand slam that puts the Wheelers up by 9 here at Balto Memorial. Robin Banks up now. He's 2 for 3 today. Make that 3 for 4. This top of the order is torching the Kingpins pitching staff so far. DB Barnum fly ball hangs up just a bit too long and caught in center by Laz King. Keon Lenedy will hit a line drive. Laz King making the play once again. We're through 5. Anchorage has put up 10. Chicago going to need to find 9 to stay in this ball game. Ganja Smoke with a leadoff single will be the start they're looking for. Improving his average to 342 and getting that fire symbol as Obo Femhausen draws a walk from Ali Damra. Looks like he could go a lot further in this ball game. 6-4-3 double play for Showtime Jones. Still a runner on third, but a rally killer for sure as Pookie Gamble stands in. A passed ball. Yep, ruled a pass ball, so charge that one to the catcher, and Chicago will score. Ganja Smoke from third, but Gambles will be down on strikes. Gonna need more than that per inning for if you're the Kingpins. Misty Morning will come in. A line drive to second will be out number 1. Cash Jr. on base with a base on balls. Jimmy Sachs will watch Chris Cash Jr. swipe bag number 44 on the season. Ultimately unnecessary, though, as Jimmy Sachs will work a walk. Hannibal Kingslayer walking the bases loaded. Big Yosh very likely to come out here, I think. No, they'll leave him in. Ground ball 4-6-3. Double play will end the threat, working out of the jam and maybe keeping themselves in this ball game. You know, crazier comebacks have happened in the minor leagues especially. Bottom of the order up for the Pins. Well struck into right field, but not having the distance on this occasion. Lazarus King popped up into center field and caught by Jordan. And Corey Wilson pulls it to left field and down in front of the left fielder for a 2-out single. Joe East will come up, line drive into left. This time, DeBlue is able to catch it, and the Kingpins not able to make good on a base runner. Top of the order for the Wheelers, facing off against Oro Crony. Rex Jordan with 2 home runs. This time, just a little lazy fly ball into shallow left. Robin Banks, long plate appearance, eventually down on strikes. The catcher, DB Barnum, gets a 4-pitch walk. Ump called that one way inside the zone. Lenedy will watch this one. Gets away from the catcher, East, but able to keep it in front of him. And a line drive from Lenedy will end the 7th inning. Heading into the 8th, need 4 runs an inning, the Kingpins do. Ali Damra still on the mound to get a 5-3 put out from McDonald III. A strikeout for Ganja Smoke, making him 2 for 3 on the day. Bobby Winter will enter the ballgame for the Wheelers to finish it off. And we'll get a ground out on the full count from Femhausen. So it's 8-run lead for the Wheelers. As this is likely their last time up to bat. Misty Morning on board with a walk. Chris Cash Jr., I thought that was a ground ball up the middle at first, but instead it'll be a pop out into foul territory. Jimmy Sachs driven to center field, but not deep enough as King will get under it. Hannibal Kingslayer, a wild pitch, advances Morning to second base. 2 outs, runner on second for Kingslayer. Lazy fly ball into left field will retire the side. Last chance for the Kingpins. Their 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up. They're going to need to get through the order to stay in this game. Showtime Jones goes around, and it will be... Oh, no, it will be a called strike 3. Not a swinging strike 3. Pookie Gamble's on the ground and has an infield single. A bit of a miscommunication between first base and the pitcher there, I think. Ben stacking paper, driven high, driven deep, over the wall, and it's a home run for the first baseman. So with 1 out, that's 2 of the 8 runs the Kingpins need. Can they keep things moving? They'll have the King and Wilson, then the top of their order coming up next. No, Sparky D will pinch hit in the 8th spot, flying out to left field. Corey Wilson representing possibly last out. Ground ball 6-3 put out will be the final out of the game. Your winners here at the Igloo are the Anchorage Wheelers by a score of 10-4. Scrolling down a bit, your win will go to Ali Damra. Tough start for Lord Slickfingers, will be charged with the loss. Your player of the game, Rex Jordan, those 2 home runs leading the way. Let's go ahead and get your box scores sent out. I need to actually put that back on my toolbar. Okay. Export data to CSV files and send it. Alright, those are headed out. Head to World Scores. And that will be it. Just minor league games today. Quick look through there. Mostly fairly low scoring games. Wheelers were kind of the exception to the rule there. As we head to August 3rd, though, this will be our final primetime game of the 3rd week of PBE action. Be Nashville at San Antonio. Nashville at San Antonio. All right, and I do have a write-up here from Stat Team, specifically from Pandar. I'll go ahead and read that out as we do have a prediction up for whether the game is a blowout. 4 more runs, pick the over, and you win. If it's close, then you will win by picking the under. We're approaching the three-quarters pull on this season of the PBE as we get ready for tonight's featured matchup between the Champions East Division leading Nashville Stars and the Legends West Division leading San Antonio Sloths. These teams have identical 42 and 32 records, and both are looking like surefire playoff teams this season. While it would still be possible for both teams to miss this season's postseason, it seems fairly unlikely. Sloths are in sole possession of first place in the Legends West with a 7-game lead on the second-place Raptors. That being said, they currently sit behind the second-place Voyagers and third-place Aviators in the Legends Conference standings. If the Sloths falter down the stretch and Boise catches fire, they could find themselves on the outside looking in. Meanwhile, the Stars are tied for first in the Champions East with the Apex, but they hold a joint 5-game lead on the Rougarous for first place in the wildcard race and a 7-game lead on the Space Rangers. Tonight, the hosting Sloths will open with Anthony Stover, who started 18 games so far this year, has an 8-3 record, a 4.56 ERA, and a 1.2 WHIP. Stover's having a great season and is top 5 among Legends pitchers in WHIP and has the best BABIP and winning percentage. He's already got a complete game shutout this year, and fans will be hoping to see another one tonight. However, if he does have to turn the game over to the bullpen, all 5 of their relievers should be available, and Carlos Crash would pick up his PBE best 22nd save in a save opportunity. The Stars will counter with Ultimo Khan, who holds a 7-6 record with a 3.49 ERA and a 1.16 WHIP. This season, it seems like Champions Conference is having the better pitching season, as Khan has similar, if not better, underlying stats as Stover, but he only appears in the top 5 leaderboard for strikeouts per walk. He seems to be getting less support from his batters as he's lost 6 games compared to Stover's 3. The Stars will hope that Khan can go late into the game as stopper Zachary Vega has seen a lot of action lately and likely won't be available. If the game is close, they'll likely hand the ball off to Snack Reacher, who's been their second best reliever. At the plate, the Stars will be hoping to put offense on the board quickly. 6 of their 9 starting batters, Vidal Valor III, Slate Gray, J.B. Rainier, Ford Lincoln Mercury, Bobby Briggs, and Michael Munson, have hit at least 10 home runs this season. Ian Song has gotten 16 stolen bases, with C.J. Levine adding 45 steals from the leadoff spot, and Valor III taking an additional 34 steals. Stars are a top 3 batting team in the Champions Conference in every statistic except for steals, where they rank 5th overall. The Sloths batters are not ranking nearly as well in the Legends Conference, as they rank anywhere from 4th to 6th in the conference, except for steals, where they're 2nd. Les Scoden, Stetson Laramie, Turd Ferguson, and Jerry Mander have broken the double-digit home run barrier thus far in the season. Troy Monopolitsky might be the only other Sloth to reach that threshold this year, if he can hit another 4 in his 30 remaining games. Player to be named later leads the stealing campaign at 77, followed by Press Duckley Jr., the leadoff hitter with 53, and Wyatt Whittle at 25. So tonight we start with the first game in this 2-game series between these competitors, and after that they could see each other for what would be the World Series. But for that to happen, they'll both need to make the playoffs, and their next step toward that goal starts now. Once again, shout out to Stat Team, in this case specifically to Pandar, for providing these primetime write-ups. Always a treat to read those out. But I think I've taken up enough preamble time. Let's go ahead and get things started with Anthony Stover taking the bump in the treehouse, facing off against C.J. Levine. We got a bit of a wide view here. I'll switch it after the 4-3 putout. Default camera. All right. Valor III batting next in a bit of a slump thus far. On the ground too short will be out number 2. Stover's retired the first 2. Slate Gray will get a walk on the check swing. So base runner for the Stars. Ford Lincoln Mercury. Oh, backpicked! Slate Gray is backpicked, and the Stover will face the minimum despite throwing pitches to Lincoln Mercury. Press Duckley Jr. on the ground to center field, and the center fielder kicks it, and that will be a single with advancing to second on the error. Player to be named later, up on the ground to center field, able to handle it this time, throwing home, and an RBI single for player to be named later, advancing to second on the throw. So the Sloths strike early here in San Antonio. Scoden in the air to center field, getting a lot of work out there. Valor the third is, player to be named later, advancing on the flyout. Stetson Laramie pulls this into right field, and into the bullpen it goes. High and deep for the first baseman, and the Sloths have struck early in this one. 3-0 still here in the bottom of the first. Only one retired so far. Turd Ferguson, the catcher, will bat next. Over the head of the second baseman, and the line is still moving. Gerrymander up, ground ball, 6-4, not able to turn two on this occasion. Fielder's choice for Mander. Alan Greer, fly ball into right field, is caught. 3 runs for the Sloths in the first inning, though, and we will head to the second. Nashville needing to respond. Ford Lincoln Mercury going to have first crack at it. Slow roller to third, and just barely out at first. Michael Munson popped up in the infield, therefore the play is the shortstop Greer. Bobby Briggs will swing and miss at the cutter. Stover has his first strikeout of the day as Nashville goes down 1-2-3 here in the second. Troy Monopolitsky will come up looking for some home runs here, but will settle for a leadoff single. So another base runner for the Sloths, their 5th hit of the day, and picked off by Ultimo Khan. So the first out made on the base paths. Wyatt Whittle in the 9-hole, now with nobody on base, will fly out to right field. Back to the top for the Sloths, it'll be Press Duckley Jr. Line drive into right, and on base, Duckley is one of their base stealers. We could see them go for it. And they do. No throw made to second. It will be a stolen base number 54 for the center fielder. 1-1 count, line drive to second, and grabbed by C.J. Levine. We're through 2. It's 3-0 for the Sloths. J.B. Rainier up. Struck out on 3 pitches from Stover. It's the circle change that gets him on this occasion. Yun Song also down on strikes. And Jimmy Lumber, line drive, opposite field, will have a single. Going for 2. A nice double, showing some speed in a usually not considered a speedster, the shortstop, but able to make it to second here. And Levine will swing and miss at the cutter, so 3 strikeouts for Stover, just 1 hit and nothing allowed on it. Scoden will tap this into left field for a leadoff base hit. Stetson Laramie up, looking to drive him in. Has a home run so far today. Not able to get the same power into right center this time around. Turd Ferguson takes strike 3 on a long plate appearance, making Ultimo Khan pitch a lot in these early innings. Mander, first pitch swinging, thrown out at first. Be the bottom of the Sloths order up next time around. For the Stars, however, Valor the third retired on 3 pitches. Slick Gray down on strikes. Stover has struck out 5 of the last 6 batters he's faced. And a bloop single for Ford Lincoln Mercury with 2 outs. Driven high and deep into left field. Michael Munson goes yard and reduces the deficit to just 1. Nashville on the board with a crack of the bat from the catcher. And they're in this game. Bobby Briggs on the ground for a 4-3 putout, but it's close. 3-2 in favor of the Sloths. They're looking to respond and extend their lead. Alan Greer coming up with a lead-off single into right field. Troy Monopolitsky is retired on the circle change. Wyatt Whittle on the 2-strike count gets a base hit. So 2 on with 1 out for the top of the San Antonio order. Press Duckley Jr. Line drive to center, not deep enough to advance the runner. Player to be named later. Ground out. will end the fourth. JB Rainier leads off for the Stars and has a single. He represents the tying run in this game. Yoon Song will go down swinging. That's Stover's 7th strikeout on the day. On the full count, Jimmy Lumber pulls it down the first baseline, and it's just fair. It goes off the foul wall. Runners in scoring position for C.J. Levine, taps it back to the pitcher. Play made at first for the second out. Del Valle III would be a great time to break out of the slump, but not doing it here. Fly ball into center is handled by Duckley Jr., and the runners in scoring position are stranded. It'll be Scoden coming up trying to extend the Sloth lead. A gap shot, stand-up double for the third baseman will put that insurance run in scoring position. Stetson Laramie fly ball into left center field. Coming over for it is the left fielder, Slate Gray. Turd Ferguson will be retired on the Ultimo Con cutter. First pitch swinging for Jerry Mander will fall harmlessly into the glove of Rainier in right. We're through 5, the Sloths leading 3-2. Slate Gray on the ground to shortstop, and a routine play made at first. Ford Lincoln Mercury, 0-2 count. Ground ball gets past the second baseman for a single. Another 0-2 count faced by Munson, this time not able to put it in play as Stover collects strikeout number 8 and will exit the game for Johnny Tatum. Diving play by the shortstop, Alan Greer will retire the side with a web gem. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, the bottom of the order for the Sloths popped high in the air. Coming in for it is the second baseman, Levine. Nopolitsky line drive caught by Lincoln Mercury at first. 0-1 count for Whittle, driven into left center, but not able to find the ground. 1-2-3 down for the Sloths. The same bottom of the order up for the Stars. JB Rainier is a hot hitter now, but will pop out in the infield this time. Song tries to check his swing, but it will be strikeout number 3 for the DH today. Jimmy Lumber on the ground, taken to the bag unassisted by Laramie. Through the stretch, Take Me Out to the Ball Game has been sung. Shota Takahashi will enter and will retire the first batter he sees on strikes. That's Press Duckley Jr. Player to be named later pulls this into left field. It's foul territory. Jumping grab at the foul wall by Slate Gray. What a play out there. So stealing an out from the Sloths on that one, and a shallow pop up from Les Scoden will retire the side. We've had some good defense in this one. We head into the 8th, still at the same 3-2 score in favor of the Sloths. Nashville will have the top of their order up. Levine lining out to center field. Valor third, 0 for 3 on the day. Will remain 0 for 3, but is aboard with a walk. Johnny Tatum issuing the first one of the day for him. Getting a pop-up from Slate Gray will be out number 2. Runner on for Lincoln Mercury. Ground ball to short. They'll take the out at second. Label it a 6-4 put out. Laramie, Ferguson, Mander coming up. Laramie has a leadoff single for San Antonio. Turd Ferguson, weird line drive into foul territory in right, but hangs up long enough for Rainier to make the play. Mander goes down looking. Shota Takahashi, strikeout number 2 on the day. First pitch swinging for Alan Greer will be a line drive easily handled by Gray in left. Last chance for Nashville. They need 1 run here in the top of the 9th to stay in this game. Michael Munson will get aboard on a very long plate appearance, finally putting it in play on pitch number 11 and getting a single. Johnny Tatum likely exiting the ball game now, having thrown 44 pitches. No, will stay in as Briggs will pull this to the right field wall. Will have a double. Munson had to check up and wait for that to land, but the tying run is now at third base with no outs. the go-ahead run standing on second. Runners in scoring position for J.B. Rainier. They'll walk him. They'll walk him to face Sung, loading up the bases with nobody out. Carlos Crash will enter to try and put out this fire. They'll get the out at home. Not able to get it at first, but saving the run and staying ahead, still with bases loaded, is the shortstop Jimmy Lumber. Ground ball past the middle of the infield. 1 run scores. They're sending the one from second and in. Nashville have flipped this into a 1-run lead. We have a bottom of the 9th coming up then, still with runners in scoring position and 1 out for C.J. Levine. Ground ball to third is an out at first. Nobody advancing on the infield hit, the infield ball in play. Valor third pulls it into right field. 1 scores. They'll try and send the runner from second, but easily gunned down by Mander. However, 3 runs in the top of the 9th is enough to make it a 2-run lead for the Stars. San Antonio, having led this whole ball game, now find themselves 2 runs in the hole. Nopolitsky retired on strikes by Shota Takahashi. Wyatt Whittle also down, this time swinging at strike 3. To the top of the order, needing 2 runs. The tying run still in the on-deck circle. Press Duckley Jr. will not quite find the gap, but will have a double thanks to that high speed. So the tying run now stepping into the plate. Player to be named later will get a single. They'll hold the runner at third. Tying run now aboard for Les Scoden. 2 for 4 on the day. Can he make it? Yes, he can. 3 for 5 as the tying run will advance to third. A 2-out rally for the Sloths. Can Stetson Laramie be the hero and tie this game, or better yet, walk it off? Let's find out. Down on strikes, swinging. Shota Takahashi gathers himself and strikes him out with the cutter. Nashville hang on in the 9th and win the game at the Treehouse, 5-4. So a close win for Nashville. Shota Takahashi will collect the win in relief. Johnny Tatum with the loss. Carlos Crash, the blown save. Anthony Stover will be your player of the game. Let me go ahead and get these box scores sent out. Your top performers on the day. Stewart hits a trio of home runs in an 8-1 win over Vancouver. Paolo Zalewski also hitting 3 home runs against Death Valley. And Flop Quads going 7 2/3 scoreless with 8 strikeouts to stymie the Vandal offense. Meanwhile, Boise scoring 10 in the bottom of the 8th against Detroit. And that one just caught my eye. As we advance to August 4th, I'll go ahead and save. And today is a quick sim day, so I'll just head through one by one and quickly go over the highlights. The Surge, a 5-4 victory over Seattle. Jackson Pollock V getting the win. Richards, the loss, now 0 for 12 on the season, with Ice Bear getting the save. For the Sloths, they answer back with a win in Game 2 of the series. That is Joshua III Esquire Limited getting the win and player of the game, while Tugboat takes the loss. Apex Vandals. The Vandals able to rally in the late innings to come away with a 4-3 victory. It's Xavier Zikafus getting the win, while Chiwei Lee takes the loss. Zikafus, your player of the game, going deep into this one to pick up that late win. The Raptors win 8-3 over the Demons. That is Harold Smith getting the victory. Aria Blue Sky the loss as usual. And player of the game is Harold Smith. Rougarous at Pathfinders, a 6-5 victory for NOLA, with that is Takeda Takahashi getting the win, Smokey Sasaki the loss, Lilu Dallas multi-pitch the save, and Biz Kitmaker the player of the game. Scorpions at Crabs. It'll be Joe Random picking up the win as the Crabs get a 7-2 victory. The loss being charged to John Whitman, Nathaniel able to save, and Joe Random your player of the game. Final 2 Major League games. The Voyagers walking it off in the 12th inning against the Cancun Toros. Bandit Keith picking up the win. Scott Justice the loss. And Victor Cortez, the player of the game, despite the losing effort. And Outer Banks 5-2 over Lunar Base. Jigs Kingman your winner, Matt Hunter the loss, Mickey Martino the save, and the player of the game, the starter for the Aviators. Down into the minors, State College at home against the Dillos will fall 2-1. The win and player of the game going to the Bot Gritty, Joe Kirkland taking the loss, and Tylen Patalamo picking up the 10th save of the season for them. Chicago gets a victory over the Lemurs 11-7. That is Hunter Kratke getting the win, Josh Harper the loss, Marcus Storm the save, and Toby Rodrigo the player of the game. Flamingos at Rana's a 6-5 victory, surviving a late rally from the Frogs. The winner is Knuckle Puck for the Mingos. Firehawks winning 5-0 over the Bears. That's Massive Unit getting the win, going strong in this ball game. Real Games taking the loss, Armbandor the save, and the player of the game, the starter for the Firehawks. Final game of the day, the Wheelers winning 12-8 over the Hepcats, courtesy of a 7-run top of the ninth. It would be Greg Buse, the winner for Anchorage, Popo taking the loss, and Super Creek, player of the game, in the loss. And yes, I need to send out the box scores because I did those one by one, so obviously I can't have sent them out yet. Alright, that is the 4th of August done. As we advance to the 5th, we have our second Major League game of the day. As we head to the moon to watch the Crabs face off against the Space Rangers. On the mound today, first up we'll see Oileonrock Etef. Through 19 starts this season, having a very rough time of it, a 6.68 ERA, but a 6-6 record at least. A very respectable strikeouts per walk from the looks of it. Just having a bit of a struggle year, unfortunately. On the Crabs side, it'll be Count Crabula, I believe reigning Pitcher of the Year winner. Probably not quite on that track right now, but again, anything can kind of happen in this last week. 3.59 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 11-6 thus far on the season. For the hitters on the Crabs side, overall just a very strong hitting lineup. The weakest hitter is at the bottom of the order, Sejma, but beyond him, Hurry Quake is the only other hitter below an 800 OPS. Headlining them is their two-hole hitter, Grail Traveler, averaging 379 through almost three-quarters of the season, OPSing above 1,000. Meanwhile, JD Pants in that 7-hole, also very strong year thus far. Lunar Base side, their top hitter so far has been Firefly Boy, batting 5th with that 868 OPS, and AJ Justice hitting well from that 3 spot. Let's see. Will there be more than 3 errors in total? I'll let that run for another 30 seconds or so. I'll go ahead and I'll throw 500 on that just so there's some competition. Let's see. Who's Grail Traveler in the pursuit of single season history will need to keep up a very good pace through the final quarter of the season, but chasing that single season average record. I'm not aware of any other record chases through this portion of the season. But yeah. Something for stat team to keep an eye on as we enter the final week. But that's going to be enough preamble for now. Let's get Etef on the mound and Zalewski in the batter's box. Zalewski drives it to right field. It's caught by Firefly Boy. The Skydome, a popular conspiracy theory is that the grounds crew messes with the gravity settings. Traveler will be retired on strikes. Beryl Summers, high and deep to right field. They obviously haven't messed with the gravity too much today, as Beryl Summers will start the scoring in the first inning. The Crabs on the board, 1-0. Seymour Baltz lifts it into left field. It is caught by Clark Max. We'll see him at the plate next. 1-0 through the first half inning. Count Crabula on the bump. Clark Max getting a walk, one of the Lunar base stealers. And stealing number 47 on the year is the left fielder Max. Not worth the first. Driven to left center field. It is gone. We have now 2 home runs in this ball game and 3 runs on the board. Lunar base flipping a 1-run deficit into a 1-run lead. Still with nobody out in the bottom of the first. AJ Justice coming up. Ground ball to third. The out made at first. Duke Newsom, the second baseman, will put it down in left field. The diving stop by Traveler. It will be a 1-out single. Firefly Boy up on the ground for 6-3. Double play will end the first inning. But the damage is done. It's a 2-1 game in favor of your Lunar Base Space Rangers. Miggs Mayfeld on the ground to third. Score that a 5-3 put out. Hurry Quake. Looked like an odd initial break from the left fielder, and that will be a stand-up double for the catcher. Second hit allowed of the day for Etef. The first walk issued to JD Pants. Boys to chest back again in a long plate appearance. Slow roller to the middle of the infield, and that will be an infield single. Base is loaded now following the 12-pitch plate appearance for Taiga Sejima. Swing and a miss on the inside circle change. It'll be bases loaded, 2 outs for Zalewski. 0 for 1 thus far today. Popped up into foul territory. The catcher, Vega, making the play. So the Crabs threaten, but don't get anything across. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters up for the Space Rangers. Durian Cragg, well struck into left field, but not well struck enough. Traveler making the play. Poliwag, a line drive to center is handled. And Vega with a 2-out base hit up the middle for Teddy Narakami, who will also keep the line moving. Base runners on first and second for the top of the order. Max walked his leadoff plate appearance. Ground ball to short will be a 6-4 put out. Nothing doing, even though both teams got runners in scoring position. Heading to the top of the third, Grail Traveler up the middle for a base hit. Keeping up that chase. Beryl Summers on the ground, 6-4, not able to turn 2. Beryl Summers at least keeping themselves on first. Seymour Baltz gets a very close strike 3 call to be the second out of the inning, and Mayfeld will ground out to their counterpart. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Space Rangers. Not worth a first, opposite field. Not able to get enough power on it. It will be out number 1. AJ Justice, some more opposite field action, this time falling into the glove of Baltz. And Newsom, a bit of a shift on in the outfield, and Newsom will make him pay. I think Baltz makes that play without that slight shift. But Firefly Boy will go down on strikes. Crabula's first of the day, and 130th of the season will end the third. Top of the fourth, Quake down looking on strikes. JD Pants high and deep to center field. It's a tie ball game as that one comes into the press box. 2-2 now at the Skydome. Boys just back again. The full count payoff pitch. A little swinging bunt. And it will be an infield hit for the speedy center fielder. 1-on-1 out. Back again going for second and making it. Scored that stolen base number 40. Taiga Sejima over the head of the jumping shortstop. Counterpart not able to make that play. Heading to the top of the order, the hot-hitting Paolo Zalewski. 0 for 2 thus far today, though. Make that 0 for 3 as that will be popped up in the infield. 2 outs now with runners on the corners for Grail Traveler. Driven into the right center field gap. That'll go for extra bases. 1 run will score. Standing on second is Traveler, scoring 2 on the double. Providence leads this game 4-2. Alan Johns lives. Hey, welcome back. Beryl Summers aboard with a walk from ETEF, crossing over that 100-pitch threshold here in the fourth. Swing and a miss for Baltz will finally end this half inning. Apologies, need a drink of water. 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Space Rangers. Cragg, a line drive to center is handled. Wag retired on strikes. Crabula just his second of the day. Emilian Vega on the ground to short. 1-2-3 down for the Space Rangers on this occasion. Into the fifth inning, Miggs Mayfeld will lead us off past the diving AJ Justice for a base hit, ambushing that first pitch from ETEF. Going for second is Mayfeld, and on second is Mayfeld. In scoring position now for Hurry Quake. A long plate appearance. This may be what chases ETEF finally, but it is still a ground out. 10 pitches to resolve that plate appearance. ETEF on the ground back to the pitcher. The out made at first. Will they let ETEF keep going to try and round out this half inning? They will. Will they pay for it? Line drive to left center field and into the glove of Max. So, likely last we'll see of ETEF this game, going 5, allowing 4. Narukami, a line drive to first, good reaction from Summers. Clark Max, opposite field, put down for a single. Will we see stolen base number 48 from the left fielder? No, as Not Worth the First will put it in play. Advances the runner, but thrown out at first. AJ Justice, some opposite field power, will score that run. An RBI single will cut the lead down to 1. Duke Newsom retired on strikes in the bottom of the fifth, heading to the top of the sixth. The sixth, excuse me. Sejima, the 9-hole hitter coming up, retired on 3 pitches. Then the top of the Crabs order, Zalewski and Traveler, both guaranteed plate appearances this time around. They did actually bring in ETEF for that 1 plate appearance, and finally bring in Cornelius George Braxton. 4-pitch walk issued to Zalewski, who will go ahead and take second base. 6 straight balls thrown for George Braxton so far. Couple strikes, and finally a pop out from the left fielder Traveler. 2 outs, runner on second for Beryl Summers, driven into left center field. That'll get to the wall and bounce back to the center fielder. Going for third is Summers, and a triple for the first baseman will score Zalewski and restore the 2-run lead. With 2 outs, a runner still on third for Seymour Baltz. On the ground, 5-3 put out will end the top of the sixth. Heading to the bottom, it'll be the right fielder Firefly Boy coming up next. Line drive to short. Score that in F6. Durian Cragg in the air to right and retired by Baltz. Wag works a walk. had to fight for that one as Crabula now, I believe, doesn't quite reach the 100. Oh, did reach the 100 pitch mark. Attempted diving play comes up short as Emilian Vega will be on board with the base hit. But Narukami will go down swinging at the Crabula circle change. Space Rangers get the top of their order up next time around, but it'll be Mayfeld, Quake, and Pants for Providence. Mayfeld aboard with Cornelius George Braxton's second walk of the day. Mayfeld going for second, picking up his second stolen base of the day. Quake, a slow roller to first, taken to the bag unassisted by Wag, but standing on third now is Mayfeld. JD Pants already has an RBI today. We'll pick up another one. A one-run single for the designated hitter makes this a three-run ball game in the top of the seventh. Back again will be struck out swinging by George Braxton. Sejima on the ground to second will be tossed out at first. Take me out to the ball game, done and sung. Top of the order for the Space Rangers. Clark Max in the air to center field and retired. Not worth a first. Still facing off against Count Crabula. Has not an infield single as the quick throw is able to send him back to the dugout. Crabula walks AJ Justice on 4 pitches. Will face off against Nukesum, or will it be a reliever? It will be Randy Colon coming in as Justice takes second base on the steal. Nukesum driven into right field, but with a good reaction from Bolts, will retire the side. Into the 8th inning, it'll be Aoife Carter entering for the Space Rangers and retiring Zalewski on strikes. Grail Traveler has one up the middle, now 3 for 5 on the day today. Beryl Summers 2 for 3, almost gets one down, but it hangs up a bit too long. Max able to put the squeeze on it. Seymour Bolts, ground ball to first, taken to the bag unassisted, will be out number 3. Just a hit and nothing to show for it for the Crabs this time around. Firefly Boy in the air to center will be retired for the first out. Durian Crag, some opposite field power. Plenty of opposite field powers. That's high and deep into the stands. Make that a 2-run ball game for the in favor of the Crabs. The lunar base possibly making eyes at a comeback. Polly Wag will go down swinging. And Emilian Vega will be a ground out to first. Heading into the top of the 9th, Providence looking for some insurance runs, leading off with Mayfeld, who is heading back to the dugout after swinging at the sinker. Hurry Quake, a textbook single for the catcher. JD Pants driven high, driven deep. Make that a second home run for the designated hitter, having a wonderful season from that 7 spot. It is a 4-run game in favor of the Crabs as they tack on a couple insurance runs. Boys Chest back again will keep the party going with the line drive single up the middle. Sagema watch as back again is thrown out. A laser from Vega will get him on the base paths as Ian Rubbish will come in and strike out Sagema. Likely the last time we'll see Providence come up unless Lunar Base can score 4 down here in the 9th. Teddy Narukami will lead off for them. Popped up in the infield into foul territory. It'll be Summers making the play. Top of the order for the Space Rangers. Clark Max 1 for 3 today. Make it 1 for 4. Down now to their last out. Their tying run sitting in the dugout. Not worth the first. Diving play by third will be an infield hit. A nice play by Zalewski, but not able to come up with the out. Dr. Hubert Malbeck will come in to try and finish this game. Tapper back to the pitcher from Justice, and the out made at first. Providence, your winners tonight, 8-4 over the Lunar Base Space Rangers. Decisions would be Count Crabula getting the win, Randy Colon the hold, but Malbec not coming in with a save opportunity. Oleonrak Etef will fall to 6-7 on the year, with JD Pants having 2 home runs, getting player of the game honors. Let's go ahead and send out some box scores. Top performances today. We watched JD Pants hit those 2 home runs, but also having 2 home runs is Stell, combining for 4 RBIs and being the engine of that victory over the Vandals for Death Valley. And in the minors, Vumian Stitcherson, 3-for-5 day with a pair of RBIs in the Bears' win over the Firehawks. Go ahead and save and advance to the 6th of April. We've got a quick sim day here. Let's go ahead and run through some quick games here. And I believe, let me peek back at that game. I don't believe we had any errors in that one. Nope, no errors at all. So enjoy my 500 points. Anyway, to our quick sim games. Nashville at New York, 2 of the frontrunners in their respective conferences. Nashville getting the win this time around. Mac John leading the way with the win and the player of the game. Crockwell will take the loss. Masahiro Sato the save as the Stars win 4-1 over the Voy Boys. New Orleans at San Antonio. San Antonio walks it off on a Les Scoden home run. William Nilliam will get the win, Johnny Tom the loss, and Brian Eshelman III is player of the game in the losing effort. Outer Banks at Detroit, it will be a big win for the Aviators. Sniper King the win, Goaty McGoatface the loss, Abe Ghosty the player of the game, as the Aviators put up 14 in the 10-run victory. Lunar Base with another walk-off on the day, this time a sac fly from AJ Justice. Scud Muffin, your winner, Randy Colon the loss, and AJ Justice with the home run and the game-winning sac fly is your player of the game. Toronto at Seattle, a 6-0 win for the Sea Serpents. Majiro McQueen getting the win, coming out after 8, not a complete game shutout. Stetson Mixon taking the loss. Boise at Cancun, it'll be Cancun putting up 15 on the Raptors. Pedro Martini, your winner. Nike Vaseline, the loss. Menji Brolina is your player of the game. Vandal Scorps, the Scorpions have a 5-3 victory with a 4-run bottom of the 8th being the engine of their win today. Always A Bummus is your winner. Lucas Creep taking the loss. Thorlor's the player of the game while Max Velo picks up the save. And finally, the Surge putting up 10 on the Apex to get a victory on the road. Juicy Jumbo gets the win. Biggest Tittius Smittius the loss. Sophia Mondrag on the save. Jackson Cheerios slugs 2 dingers and gets the player of the game honors. Into the minor leagues, Florida will move past the Ranas in the standings with a 4-3 victory. Doc Rock the win. Junior O'Callahan the save. And Doc Rock the player of the game. Dillos at Swifties, classic rivalry, and the Dillos always showing up to play. 15-4 victory over State College. VJ Edgecombe is your winner. Man Person taking the loss, and Jennifer Park is your player of the game. Lemurs at Pins. The Lemurs win it in 15 innings, 7-4. That is Anthony Kennett, or Kenne. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Kennett, your player or your winner. Adeline King is the save, with Smack Miller getting player of the game honors, slugging 2. Wheelers at Hepcats. It's the Hepcats putting up 17 in a 15-run victory over the Wheelers. 24 hits among their team. A Bird will be your winner with Elijah Rosado taking the loss, and Kif Croker your player of the game. Final one of the day, Bears at Firehawks. It's a slugfest in California, with the home team eventually coming out on top 13-11. Wah Wong is your winner, with Kevin Williams getting the loss, armband or the save, and Willard Bachman is your player of the game. Go ahead and save and get those box scores sent out. All right, hang on. I'm going to point that out after I do the box scores. Your top 3 performances of the day are all Toros. As Menji Berlina goes 5 for 5 with 2 doubles and a home run. Tiernan O'Malley goes 4 for 5 with a double, a triple, a home run. Hitting for the cycle, it looks like. I need to go to the actual game. Yep, O'Malley hits for the cycle against Boise. And Gnome Child going 6 for 6 with a pair of doubles. So the Toros hitters just having a field day with the Boise pitching staff today. We'll move on to the 7th. We have an off day, nothing going on in either league. So we'll move right on past it into the 8th, where we have ourselves a stream game. Oh, wait a minute. We do have a California stream game today. It's going to be California at Amarillo. Tampa, you lied to me. To be fair, I also lied and said we wouldn't have one today because I just missed it on the schedule, but ignore it. Ignore that. So, California at Amarillo. On the mound, we will have Junichi Komatsu having a respectable season, even though the numbers don't quite add up to that. 4.72 ERA as, I believe, a rookie in the minors is not bad. Obviously, you want it to be better, but 4.72, it could be going a lot worse as a rookie. Pitching in the minors is rough anyway. Unfortunately, not getting a ton of run support from the team thus far, sitting at a 1-8 record. Though that walk rate is also a little higher than you'd want. For the Firehawks, they'll have Ingrid Kielhaller pitching, sitting just north of a 4 ERA. With a 7-5 record. In terms of hitting, Firehawks will be first up. They have Dumper and Carver in that 3 and 4 spot, with Dwell Ing batting well from 6. On the Dillos side, Ben Martin is their marquee hitter in that 2 spot, but their 3, 4, 5 spots also are hitting north of an 800 OPS, and Tony Del Vecchio in that leadoff spot, averaging above 300. It doesn't look like we have a new prediction up, so I'm going to take a drink of water real quick, and I'll go ahead and get us started. All right, heading to the Burrow, Vecna Whatsit will be leading off against Junichi Komatsu, and Whatsit is aboard with a leadoff walk. So, 1 on, nobody out for Majima as Whatsit goes for second and makes it. 87 stolen bases. I would say likely pacing for about 120 by the end of the year. But goes for third, gets greedy, and is cut down by Sims Jr. Majima line drive into center is handled by the center fielder on your left. Well, that's a lot of directions. I've got a dumper on the ground to the shortstop and retired. So, facing the minimum is Komatsu, despite the base hit or the walk from Whatsit. Tony Del Vecchio leading off against Ingrid Kielhaller, a little infield tapper, and retired at first, a 1-3 put out. Ben Martin on the ground, a 4-3 put out on this occasion. And Dominion to go fighting in the 2-2 count, but retired on strikes. Ingrid Kielhaller has their first of the day. 3 up, 3 down, both sides facing the minimum thus far. Coleman Carver, a hard hit line drive to center field, but caught. Ashton Fox will be sent back to the dugout on 3 pitches. Dwal Ing will head to first on 5 pitches. Matt Gamble also working a walk from Komatsu. 2 on, 2 outs. Perhaps a rally going on. Can Rusty Menard make good on that? Is plunked, and it will be bases loaded. Komatsu has allowed the last 3 base runners to reach, and a drive to center field by Slim Mahogany. That'll reach the wall. Run 1 will score. 2 runs will score. 3 runs will score. A bases clearing double for the 9-hole hitter Slim Mahogany. So California now leading 3-0 on just a single hit. Make that 2 hits for California as Whatsit will drive in Mahogany. 4-0 in favor of the Firehawks. But Whatsit will now be 1 for 3 on stolen bases today, going for second, and a good reaction from Sims Jr. to finally end the inning on a caught stealing. Dillo's looking to immediately answer back with a rally, but Jennifer Park will be retired on a ground out. Cillian O'Ray, a fly ball to shallow left field, ranging out for it is the shortstop Majima. And Wacko Warner will be on base with a full count walk, so Tony Sims Jr. possibly wanting to start a rally. This one popped high into the air, coming all the way in for it is Matt Gamble. Into the 3rd inning now. Goro Majima will be sent to first base on Komatsu's 4th walk of the day. 5th time allowing a base runner aboard without the hit. I've Got a Dumper will ground into the fielder's choice. They get the lead runner at second. Carver will be issued another walk. Make that 6 combined walks and hit by pitches. Ashton Fox likely going to make them pay for it, as coming around is Dumper for the score. It's 5-0 in favor of the Firehawks here at the Burrow. Dwal Ing will walk to first. A very tough day in terms of command for Komatsu. A hard hit ground ball will get past the glove of the first baseman. A 2 RBI single for Matt Gamble makes it 7-0. Serena Elmer will come in, and they get the out at second. Fielder's choice. Runners on the corners for Slim Mahogany with 2 outs. Fly ball into center will finally retire the side. Dillos need to find 7 runs here. Still early in the game, though. It's not over yet. Gary Love will stand in. Pop up into shallow center is caught by the second baseman. On your left will be plunked on the 1-2 count and heading to first on the hit by pitch. Tony Del Vecchio standing in as on your left will steal second base. A little swinging bunt and an infield hit for the second baseman Del Vecchio. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Ben Martin. Fly ball to center field will be enough for the sac fly. But they're going to need a lot more than that as the game progresses. But on the board at least, as DeGoat will ground into the fielder's choice, 5-4. It's a 7-1 ball game as we exit the first third and head to our middle third of the game. Vecna Whatsit, ground ball to first, is taken to the bag unassisted. Goromajima popped up. Will it reach the outfield on the edge, but caught by Del Vecchio. I've Got a Dumper will watch strike 3 go by. Elmer gets him on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Jennifer Park will lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Dillos and hit into a pop-out. Long plate appearance ends in a walk for Cillian O'Ray. A base on balls on pitch number 9 from Ingrid Keelhaller. Wacko Warner tries to ambush the first pitch, but will ground into the fielder's choice. Not able to turn to are the Firehawks. And Tony Sims Jr. fly ball into left field. It's gone! The Dillos now only trailing by 4. It's not close just yet, but it's a game. It's certainly a game. Gary Love with 2 outs, nobody on, will ground into the 4-3 putout. 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Firehawks, still facing off against Serena Elmer in relief. Coaxing a ground ball from Coleman Carver for the first out. Ashton Fox will be retired looking as Elmer delivers a slider to the opposite hand hitter. Dwelling, fly ball into left field, therefore the play is Martin. On your left, coming up for the Dillos, ground ball past the glove of the third baseman for a leadoff single. To the top of the order for the Dillos, as on your left we'll have stolen base number 2 of the day. Stolen base number 30 of the season. Del Vecchio, a pop fly ball into foul territory, is caught for the first out. Ben Martin will be aboard with a walk. Now base runners on first and second for Dominion DeGoat. Driven to center field, but not deep enough. Fox putting the squeeze on it. Jennifer Park on the ground to first, and the play made at first by the pitcher covering. So, got 2 base runners, but not able to make anything good on it. Top of the 6th, Matt Gamel will lead off. Elmer still in the ball game, allowing a leadoff single to the second baseman. But picked off. So, Gamel will be thrown out on the base paths. Rusty Menard now having nobody on base to work with, but working a walk and putting a runner aboard once again. Garlic Bread will enter to face off against Slim Mahogany. Deep fly ball to left field is caught. Vecna pulls it into deep right field, but once again handled, this time by Cillian O'Ray. We're through 5.5 innings. Bottom of the 6th, it's O'Ray who made that last put out coming up and watching the changeup catch the zone, strike 3. Wacko Warner, a late swing, will be another strikeout for Keelhaller, as Joe Calloway will enter the ballgame for the Firehawks and get a fly out from the catcher Sims Jr. We're through 6 at the Burrow. 4-run lead for the Firehawks. Goro Majima getting a called strike 3 on a pitch that was well outside the zone. Amazing frame job from Sims Jr. on that occasion. I've Got a Dumper will get a 5-3 put out. And Coleman Carver drives it high, drives it deep to left field. It is gone into the stands. California restoring a 5-run lead in the top of the 7th on the 2-out home run from their right fielder. Ashton Fox will stand in a ground ball just in front of the catcher for an infield hit. But Dwell-ing will be strike 3, but catcher's interference will put him aboard. We got a catcher's interference on stream, but Matt Gamel will strike out. Nothing doing on the second lease on life in the top of the 7th. Gary Love will face off against Joe Calloway and have have a leadoff hit, not an infield hit. Put that one in left center. On your left, on the ground for 6, not going to turn 2. On your left, Speedy. With an open base in front of him, will we see him go for his 3rd stolen base of the day? We will not, as Tony Del Vecchio puts it in the air to center for the second out. Another opportunity for left to go for second. He goes for it. 3 stolen bases for on your left, and advancing to 3rd on the throwing error, going out into center field. So, the response run now just 90 feet away. Ben Martin on the ground to short, thrown out at first. It's still a 5-run deficit for the Dillos to overcome as we enter the final 2 innings of this game. Garlic Bread still in, striking out Rusty Menard. Slim Mahogany will head to first base on the full count base on balls. Zodiac will enter, get a ground out from Vecna Whatsit. Goromacho will pop it up, and coming in a few steps for it is Tony Del Vecchio. Bottom of the 8th, the heart of the Dillos order coming up, DeGoat, Park, and O'Ray. Callaway still in the game. Hard hit ground ball from DeGoat, but handled by Gamel and retired at first. Park will be aboard with a walk. Chicago due to State College. I don't know, but the Swifties putting up 12 on them. Swifties got a big loss to the Dillos earlier. They need to do something to get their run differential looking good. As we've got ourselves a big threat from the Dillos now. Wacko Warner with the hit. O'Ray having an infield hit on the previous plate appearance. Bases are loaded with 1 out for the catcher. Tony Sims Jr. already has a home run today. Ground ball for 2. Fielder's choice, getting the out at home. It'll be Gary Love with bases loaded and 2 outs to try and get this game close. Ground ball to first. Dillos unable to do anything with the bases loaded. It's a 5-run deficit still entering the 9th. Firehawks with the heart of their order up. I've got a dumper batting against Zodiac. Has a ground ball up the middle. Lead off knock. Coleman Carver is walked to make it 2 base runners. Ashton Fox line drive into left center field. Therefore, the play is left. Dwal Ing swing and a miss. Diak has the first strikeout of the day. Gamel on the ground. They'll take the out at first. No need to turn 2 on that occasion as there were already 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th, Amarillo needs 5. It's not unheard of, but it's not likely. On your left will be retired on strikes. Joe Callaway, first strikeout of the day. Tony Del Vecchio, fly ball to right field is caught by Carver. Give Callaway a chance to finish this game off, and finish it off he will as Ben Martin hits into the 6-3 putout. The Firehawks have an offensive explosion in the first 3 innings and win this game 8-3. Decisions. Ingrid Keelhaller will get the win. Callaway goes more than 3 and gets the save. Komatsu, unfortunately, taking that 9th loss of the season. Ingrid Keelhaller is your player of the game. Let's get some box scores sent out here. Top performances, a 4-for-5 day with a double and a home run for Michael Honcho in the 10-run victory over Chicago. Joseph Mathis Hendry goes 8 scoreless in the team shutout of Vancouver, while Ryan Lee goes 8 scoreless as well in a much closer win over Lunar Base for the Toros. Go ahead and save and move on to the 9th, where we will have our final streamed game of the day, Toronto at New York. So if you just look at the numbers, it's a little bit of a mismatch, but still, it is baseball. Anything can happen. Pathfinders they're not a horrible team. They've got at least a solid enough roster to win some ball games. For the Voyagers, they'll be sending Leonidas Longpipe to the mound, carrying a 3.48 ERA and a very respectable 2.4 walks per 9 with a 9-4 record. Pathfinders will have Biz Kitmaker 2-8 record thus far this season with 5.24 ERA, but also very respectable 2.9 walks per nine. In terms of the hitting for the Pathfinders, their premier hitter is Mosquitoes, though they are struggling with hitting on other parts of their lineup. Cam Squires and McScooty Fortune both hitting above 270 in terms of average. On the Voyagers side, their top hitter thus far this season is Man Squatch, the third baseman, batting fifth, that 905 OPS. But batting ahead of him, also two very strong hitters. Can You Take Me Higher with a 291 average, 872 OPS, and Brian Payne OPSing at 800. Also batting well for them in that 9-hole is KVK. What's our channel point prediction? We have 15.5 hits in this one. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on this one. I think this is going to be relatively. I think the Voyagers will hit well, but I think they're going to stymie the Pathfinder bats today. And that's going to even out and be close, but I think ultimately it'll fall under that mark. I'll let that run for a good... Oh, if there's going to be that much on the over, I may as well put in 1,000. Who bet with me? BBJ. All right. I'll let that run for, let's say 40 more seconds, down to the 26-minute mark. Heading to Vaughn's house. I like saying the names of the stadiums because I feel like those don't get a ton of love. Some of them are very nice. Of course, I'm a racing nerd, so I love the Apex Stadium name, the Brickyard. There are some other really good ones. The Toros have the Coliseo. Obviously, I'm partial to the Burrow with the Dillos. And there's one other one that I thought of that just left my head. Yeah, I don't know. It just escaped my brain. I'm sure I'll think of it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get things started. Long Pipe will be on the bump to face off against Palindrome. Drome puts it in play to start this game, and it will be a ground out. Lucas Ryan on the ground this time past the second baseman for the first hit of the ball game. Mosquitoes will be retired on strikes. Long Pipe got him swinging with the cutter. And Primo will go down the same way. So a hit, but nothing else for the Pathfinders, as the Voyagers will get first crack with Adam Cole Bebe against Bizkit Maker. Line drive, good reaction from Drome to make that play. Tonica driven deep to left field, but not deep enough. Scooty Fortune will get the put out. And Brian Payne on the ground, retired at first. 1, 2, 3 down for the Voyagers. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for the Pathfinders. Cam Squires is sent back to the dugout. Paddington Von Pippington high and deep to the left center field. It is gone. Pathfinders on the board first. Paddington Von Pippington 1 for 1 with a home run. D Nice up next will be sat down by Long Pipe, who I believe has fanned fanned 5, I believe, of the last 6, but that one batter that didn't get sat down hit a home run. Pathfinders lead this game 1-0. Can you take me higher? An unassisted ground out to first base. Man Squatch drives it into right center field, but therefore the play is primo. Henry Magic will be the first base runner for the Void Boys today. Devontae Moore with a chance to advance them, but nothing doing as they will be caught stealing at second. A good throw from Ice. So the Pathfinders have still technically faced the minimum. Mortimer Dog on the ground to short will be thrown out at first. Back to the top, Palindrome will be caught looking at a curveball in the zone. 6 strikeouts for Long Pipe, not even through 3 innings. Make that 7, as that will be the final out of the third. Long Pipe, 7 of the 9 outs Voyagers have made thus far, strikeouts. Bottom of the order for the Void Boys. Devontae Moore will be their first hit of the game. Diego Ramirez will get a base on balls. It'll be 2 runners on for Kreis von Christelhauser. A bunt. Not just any bunt. A bunt for hit. A bunt single initially intended to be a sac bunt. Bases loaded, nobody out. Adam Colbebe line drive into left. Trying to score from third is Moore. Throw will be offline, and a sac fly ties this game. Isuro Tanaka with 2 on. Line drive into center field is handled by Primo. 2 on, 2 outs for the catcher Payne. Another line drive into center will be out number 3. We are tied 1 run apiece, 2 hits apiece. Heading into the 4th inning, the heart of the Pathfinders order coming up. Mosquitoes drives it high and drives it deep, just over the wall. Toronto answers back, now restoring their 1-run lead. Primo tries to check his swing, but goes around for strike 3. Long Pipe on the ground, gets a ground out from Squires, for the second out of the top of the 4th, and then strikes out Von Pippington, strikeout number 9 on the day for the Voyager pitcher. Can you take me higher? It's hit high, it's hit deep, it is gone! I believe our 3rd home run of the day, as Can You Take Me Higher once again evens this ball game. Man Squatch coming up will cut on the fastball and miss. Magic drives this into the gap. We'll have extra bases. Left fielder slides into second base. A runner in scoring position. The go-ahead run in scoring position for the Voyagers. Magic goes for third and makes it. Stolen base number 47 on the year. Go-ahead run 90 feet from home. Moore pops it up in the infield. Will not be an infield fly, but will be caught. Yeah, makes sense. Wouldn't be an infield fly. Gotta have runners on. Gotta have runners with force outs for that to happen. Ramirez line drive into right field is caught. Kitmaker just allows the home run. It's tied at 2 heading into the 5th. Bottom of the order up for the Pathfinders. Popped into foul territory. Dean Ice putting the squeeze on it is Mihire. Scooty Fortune sat down by Long Pipe, who has 10 on the day. Mortimer Dog will head to first, Long Pipe issuing their first walk of the game. Dog going for second and making it, stolen base number 22 on the year, combining for 54 on that bottom 2. Drome on the ground to second. They'll take the final out of the side at first. KVK will lead off for the Voyagers, then to the top of their order. Have himself a leadoff knock. Adam Colbebe driven high and deep to right field. It is gone. Adam Colbebe gives the Voyagers a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 5th, extending the Voyagers' inning scoring streak to 3 in this game. Isuro Tanaka will come up against Biz Kitmaker. And kicked by the first baseman. That will be charged an error instead of a hit. And Tanaka will try and make them pay for it, but is gunned down by Ice. Brian Payne swings it one away, low and away, and will be heading back to the dugout. Mihire has a home run today, will improve to 2 for 3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. This one kicks away from the catcher. A passed ball charged to Dean Ice, so one black spot for them in an otherwise stellar defensive game. And Mansquatch will fly out to right center field, so no harm done on the passed ball. We're through 5. The Voyagers now leading this game by 2. Payoff pitch for Lucas Ryan is a line drive right at the shortstop. Ramirez making the play. Scatoes down looking at the circle change. Make that 11 for long pipe. Make it 12 as Primo will be sat down on the cutter. 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Voyagers. Magic line drive caught by the shortstop. Devontae Moore fly ball into center will be caught for the second out. And Ramirez deep into center field. Another F8 will be the end of the 6th here at Vaughn's house. Cam Squires, opposite field power. It's in the stands. Is that a home run number 5 on the day? I think that's 5 home runs in total for the day. Toronto drawing within 1 in the 7th, courtesy of their designated hitter, Cameron Squires. Paddington Von Pippington, line drive to the wall in right field, off the Camden Yards scoreboard. Will go for third, gets greedy. Paddington Von Pippington has a double, tries to get greedy going for third, and gunned down. So the tying base runner, Von Pippington, commits the cardinal sin of making the first out of the inning at third. And Toronto may pay for it. Cut off there, I believe that was the shortstop, Ramirez. So that your player, in other words. Couldn't tell if it was second or short. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Ramirez, but I wasn't entirely paying attention. KVK will be aboard on a leadoff hit by pitch. Dupp will enter the game and retire Adam Colbebe on strikes. 1 on, 1 out for Tanaka. Ground ball to second base, but speedy enough for that to be an infield hit. Brian Payne line drive back to shortstop, and they will get the double play, a 6-3 double play, getting the runner not able to get back to first. So, still just a 1-run lead for the Voy Boys, as Mortimer Dog will lead off with an infield hit. Pathfinders have the top of their order up, trying to tie this game, possibly take a lead. 6-4 is what will go in the score, as they don't turn 2 on this occasion. P-Dub Woods will enter, get a deep fly ball from Lucas Ryan to fall into the glove of von Christelhauser. 2 outs with 1 on for Scatoes. A lazy fly ball into right will end the top of the 8th. Voyagers looking for some insurance runs here. As we've seen this game, 1 swing of the bat is all you really need to change your fate. And nowhere do we find that more true, as Can You Take Me Higher has their second home run of the day. There's the insurance run the Voyagers were looking for. Squatch will watch the screwball catch the zone. Magic on the ground past the first baseman for a 1-out single. Magic going for second and making it. Good throw from Ice, not enough to get them on this occasion. Ground ball for more will be retired at first. Diego Ramirez, line drive into the gap. That will be another run scored for the Voy boys. Ramirez with a double to extend the Voyager lead to 3, the largest lead we've seen this game. KVK on the ground to third will be thrown out at first. But Toronto now with a lot of work to do here. Their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up. Primo leading off against P-Dub Woods. Watches one right over the zone. Strike 3. Cameron Squires, a long plate appearance. This one slicing foul, but therefore it is Tanaka. Down to their last out now, the Pathfinders. Paddington Von Pippington up. Has a home run today. Will send this one deep into center field and off the top of the wall. That is a double. Their tying run now in the on-deck circle. Dean Ice with a lazy fly ball into left field will end this ball game. Magic puts the squeeze on it. The Voyagers, in a tight ball game, will win 6-3 at Vaughn's house. Your decisions, it'll be Leonidas long pipe getting the win, going 7 1/3, allowing 3. Biz Kitmaker the loss, and P-Dub Woods the save. Your player of the game, can you take me higher? How many home runs did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home runs on the day. Let me send out these box scores. Top performers, Slate Gray, a 5-hit day with 4 RBIs in the victory over Seattle. Curtis Jones has a pair of doubles and a home run in a 4-hit day, needing all of those to overcome Vancouver. And Rafael Furkel Jr. also 4 for 5 with a double and a home run, but not able to power the Boise offense over the Crabs, who pick up their 50th win of the year. Go ahead and save. As we advance to the 10th is a quick sim day. We don't have another stream game. This will be, we will go to August 11th, but that's an off day, so this will be the last slate of games for today, and just a quick sim. Toronto at New York, the one we just watched. New York will once again get a tight win over their intra-conference, interdivision competitors. Definitely not Evil Dictator. Will get the win. Mac and Cheese the loss. Caitlin Montreal the save. Man Squatch your player of the game. Providence goes 13 with Boise and eventually gets the win. That will be Ichiban Kasuga with the win. Hugh Jazz the loss. PKVS the player of the game, keeping it close in regulation. I always got to look now. 7 1/3, allowing 2. Okay, Vandals at Outer Banks. It will be the Aviators getting a 3-run bottom of the 9th to walk this off. Kvieta Volkova with a 2-run homer against Sheet to draw it to tie the ball game, and then Eschenbaugh hitting a sac fly to win it. Mickey Martino the win, Sheet the loss, and Abe Ghosty the player of the game. Sloss at Surge. Surge getting a big win over the Legends West Division leaders. Lieutenant Duds your winner. Chad Inningseater taking the loss, dropping below 500. Your player of the game is Hannah Streamsong. New Orleans at Indy. The Rougarous winning 8-6. Their starting pitcher Dash Jackson getting the win. Calm Chicken the loss. Ian Nasir the save. Air Yardong getting the win, but not doing enough to power the Apex over the Rougarous. Stars at Serps. The Serps get a 5-4 victory over the Stars. Taco Bell the win. Warren Peace the loss. Kip Treadwell the save. The player of the game, the starting pitcher for the Serps. The Space Rangers get a win over Cancun 9-5. That'll be Oileon Rock Etef getting the win. John Cowgill the loss, only their 4th on the year. Ian Rubbish, the first save of the season for them, and Durian Cragg is the player of the game. The Scorps will lose on the road to the Demons. Rene Le Pouvoir getting the win as the Demons leave it for the back half of the game to win this one. Devi Bravado the loss. Spencer Bear the save, hitting double digits in that stat. Pythagoras is the player of the game. Into the minors, it will be Kansas City at Louisville, leading us off. The Hepcats scoring 2 in the top of the ninth to flip the script and win it. That'll be Ron Jocker the win, Glenn Snaps the loss, Geoffrey Pines the save, and Pim Pimling is your player of the game. The Wheelies leave it all late and come away with the victory over the Flamingos. That's Pickle Riedemann getting the win, Dorothy Kennedy Seenan the loss, Jay Moore getting the save, their first of their career, and Pickle Riedemann the player of the game. The Ranas score 1 in the top of the ninth to overcome I believe, they were league leading heading into today. Oh, no. They're 1 game back of the Lemurs now. The second place overall Bears. All your decisions going to Bots, and the player of the game, Brian Bleeker of the Ranas. The Swifties winning 5-1 over the Pins. Froggy Dubois getting the win. Felix Burgot the loss. Sam Waters the save. Froggy Dubois, your player of the game. And finally, our final game of the day, California at Amarillo. The Dillos will shut out the Firehawks. Crunch Jr. getting the win and player of the game honors. David Sears the loss. Did he go the full game? No, they pulled him for the final inning. Always sad. So we'll go ahead and save. Get those box scores out. I'll advance the day to the 11th since that's where we're supposed to be, but there won't be any games. Save one last time, and then we'll get this upload started. Excuse me, I did not drink enough water through this stream. Alright, we've got our upload started, so let's go ahead and get some Ask the Booth questions. Ask me anything. You do have a raid ready for an upload is complete. Awesome. Apologies, just checking my message. Let's see. Asked earlier, never got an opinion on spicy ramen. I am allergic to soy protein, and there's a lot of things that use it, especially in like Asian cuisine. Like things like soybean oil and soy lecithin are fine because those are very like a lot. The vast majority of the protein is out of those. But if you get like some breads and other like bakery products use soy flour, and of course soy sauce is a big part of that kind of cuisine. So it's usually not great for me. But even I could make my own. That's true. Unfortunately, I do not have any kind of spice tolerance, so I don't think I would enjoy it. Um, but I imagine, like overall ramen is, I like not so spicy ramen. I would probably enjoy. What is OBX going 17-4 last three sims do for the playoff picture? 20-7 for the week for OBX. It might that might put them in play for winning the Legends East. They really came to play. Let me actually look at the index real quick. I'll obviously check the standings after the upload's done. Yeah, well, I mean, the Crabs also have just been like maintaining a. I think that's 18 games over 500. I wasn't super paying attention to their trajectory this stream, but I'm pretty sure they won more than they lost. But yeah, heading into this sim, it was a 3-game gap between the Crabs and the Aviators, so it's all to play for there, in my opinion. Yeah, still second in the division. Yeah, it's tight. The Legends East is a very tight race this year. Okay, so my rough estimation, not 100% knowing how everybody played this stream, is that what to watch in the final week. The Legends East in general, because you pretty much got a 3-way fight for what is very likely going to be the 1 seed in the Legends. Because the Sloths are at 42 wins. They'd be trailing by 4. They should have the Legends West locked down. And again, this is all based on like before this sim. We'll look at the actual standings when the upload's done. But very likely going to be the 1 seed if you win the Legends East. Because the Surge are kind of out of it. Toronto's kind of out of it. Boise and Vancouver, if they get real hot and the Sloths get real cold, it could flip. But it seems very likely that your top 3 Legends East teams will make the playoffs, and then whoever wins the Legends West, which is looking to be the Sloths. In terms of the Champions Conference, there's an interesting battle going on for the wild card there. Cancun has kind of a death grip on the Champions West right now. Nashville had a rough week, so the Apex got hot. So they were tied entering this sim. We'll see what happened with that. But it's a battle for the winner of the Champions East. Whoever comes in second in that battle is probably going to be the 3 seed. Unless they just really struggle down the stretch. And then you kind of have a 3-way fight for that last wild card spot between the Rougarous, the Space Rangers, and the Scorpions. Detroit feels like a team that really should have done better, so that's a team I'm not discounting getting hot and competing for that last wild card spot, but we need a lot to go our way. So I'm not confident in that. But I wouldn't be overly shocked if it happened. Then in the minors, yeah, a lot changes in the minors. sim to sim, so I'll just wait till we get the standings for that. It's an interesting playoff picture though. So your big races to watch are going to be whoever wins the Legends East, getting that 1 seed and home field advantage for at least the first couple rounds of the playoffs. Because I'm not entirely convinced they'll catch Cancun. Cancun's in a relatively weak division, I hate to say. Yeah, the only no other team is north of 500 entering this sim. So they're getting a lot of wins, and that seems tough to overcome in the last 27. If I had to, and then the other race you're gonna want to watch is the Champions Wild Card, because that last spot's gonna. I mean, just putting this out there. What if it came down to a game 109? That'd be fun. Do we have someone scheduled for that playoff race? Not a fan of Detroit for fantasy. Oh, I can't imagine. I mean, we've had a lot of underperforming players, unfortunately. You know, people you would have expected to do a lot better, just not really, just not playing up to their TPE, unfortunately. Remy Lobo 111 with a 6.72 ERA. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Pythagoras had a very strong first half of the season, but I think has kind of cooled off over the last week. And of course, Blue Sky was never any good, so. Because I run on food was my favorite cuisine. Figure should ask, given what you said earlier, do you think we should add in a chug water emoji? Yes to the latter. My favorite cuisine? I think I'd have to go with Italian. I love all forms of pasta. So just in general, I think Italian cuisine is generally my favorite. I think I would enjoy like a lot more Asian cuisine. Like Chinese, Japanese, Korean. I think I would enjoy that a lot more if most of it wasn't going to kill me. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, I could try making some of that myself, and just like use substitutes. But one, I still have a long way to go in terms of cooking. I don't really have a full kitchen right now, and I can't really change that because I think I'm hopefully going to be moving soon. Ideally to somewhere I will have a job. But yeah, once I have a full kitchen and it's all up to me when I can use it and whatnot, I will definitely be experimenting more. Yeah, heard of Brags. Um, Brag. I have not. Is that like the like Bragg Live Foods or something else? DM me. Okay. Flavorful gluten-free soy sauce alternative. Okay, vegan, gluten-free. Gluten-free soy sauce alternative. I mean, I think that I'm just from that description. It sounds like it's still like. Is it soy-free soy sauce replacement? I'd have to look at like the actual like full ingredients list. Let me see if I can find that on their website. Yeah, it's still vegetable protein from soybeans, which I think would still not be good for me, unfortunately. Let me get the actual index upload started since we're good there. So I'll get that started. All right, see you later, Bob Rossi. We'll be ending here pretty shortly while the index upload goes. Yeah, so as BBJ said, it's a 2-game lead for Providence in the Legends East, but only a 3-game difference between the Crabs and the Voyagers in third. Down in the Legends West, the Sloths have an 8-game lead. They should have that pretty much locked down. But if either Boise or Vancouver get really hot and the Sloths get really cold, that could change. So keep tabs on that one. But in the Legends, you're mostly going to be looking at that Legends East race. In the Champions East, the Stars are leading by 2 over the Apex. So that's going to be your main division race to watch in the Champions. But both of those should be playoff teams, barring a big collapse and a big week for one of the wildcard competitors. Toros should have the Champs West locked down with that 12-game lead, 27 to play. But the wild card is going to be interesting. The Rougarous have it right now, sitting at 41 and 40. But just 2 games behind them are both Lunar Base and Death Valley. So it's a 3-team race for that final wild card spot. Detroit and Seattle kind of out of it at this point. Detroit not really having the third week they'd want to try and make a run at it. But we will see how that all plays out. So some very interesting narratives to watch as we head into the final week of PBE baseball. I do believe that's our index fully uploaded. Let me go ahead and shoot the index uploaded message to game day. All right. And then I think that'll do it for us. I'll save one more time, just for safety's sake. And yeah, Tampa, whenever you want to. All right, you got the raid started. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today. GT sitting at 386. I didn't want to be the one to say it. I don't want to be the one to jinx it anymore. It's a week to go, and he's pacing for it. So I am not gonna say anything more about that until game 108 is done and gone. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching tonight. We'll see you for some week 4 action. Bye.